We leave the Principality and come to Baku for the Baku City Circuit, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So 3 different winners so far this year: Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, and most recently Sergio Perez. It's time for Baku and Canada as a double-header back-to-back before the British Grand Prix marks the halfway stage of the season, with Austria as well a week later. France and Hungary take us to the summer break before a triple-header in Belgium, Netherlands and Italy, rounding out on the 11th of September. Then a 3-week break, another little holiday for us all, before the 2nd of October race in Singapore is back-to-back with Japan. Then a 2-week break before the United States and Mexico goes back-to-back as well for round 19 and 20. A 2-week break, and then the season rounds out in Brazil and Abu Dhabi on the 20th of November. In the driver's standings, Max Verstappen leads by just 9 points to Charles Leclerc. 15 points separate the top 3, with Sergio Perez going into 3rd. George Russell has a small advantage of a point over Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton, the furthest back of the top 6, only on 50 points. Lando Norris is 7th, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon and Kevin Magnussen round out the top 10. On the second page, Daniel Ricciardo is on the same point as Yuki Tsunoda. They are a point clear. Fernando Alonso on 10. Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel as well in a battle, 6 points to 5 points. Alexander Albon on 3. Lance Stroll 2. Zhou Guanyu, the last driver with points. Schumacher, Hülkenberg and Latifi still pointless. In the Constructors' Championship, it's Red Bull leading the way by a significant margin of 36 points to Ferrari. Then Mercedes still in 3rd place but too far back. McLaren have an advantage over Alfa Romeo to complete the top 5, but Alpine are only a point behind. AlphaTauri have 2 points cleared to Haas. Aston Martin 7 points, Williams still on 3. It's qualifying now for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Your commentators are Megan Burch and Ian Burch. Let's take a look around the Baku City Circuit, a 6.003 kilometre circuit, 20 corners in total, and the longest straight in Formula 1. This is a tough, challenging circuit, but provides great racing. You're already 8th gear, flat out as you cross the start line, down towards turn number 1, brake hard, turn in 3rd gear, tight entrance as well, but it's the perfect opportunity for an overtake as well with the DRS. Into turn 2, another 90 degree, left-hander, 3rd gear, open up the DRS, and now just hurtle down the back straight away, maximum 8th gear as well before you hit the braking zone into turn number 3. Once again, 3rd gear, 90 degree left before the first 90 degree right corner at turn 4, past the apartment buildings as well that cost over $1 million just to be in there for the weekend. Down as well now into turn 5 and 6 the chicane, hug the inside line, it tightens up now as well, the track width sort of narrows as you approach the castle section, all the way, turn 7 now in 2nd gear, hug the inside line, jump the curb, turn 8, just the tightest corner in Formula 1, it wants to hurtle you towards the barriers, past the castle section, up in towards turn 9, 10, 11 and 12 at the exit. Now sweep open throughout turn 13 and 14, up into 8th gear as well to approach the braking zone for turn 16 now. Heavy on the brakes, down into 3rd gear, another 90 left. Downhill, quite a dramatic drop as well. The braking zone can be tricky as you come in towards the last corners. Now 13 again. Now open up a full acceleration, your full overtake battery power, sling the car in through turn 20 as well, and then that's it. It's flat out from now all the way until the line. 8th gear, the engine already singing before you open up the DRS button now and hurtle down across the control line. It's fast, it's busy, it's abrasive, it's Baku, and that was a lap guide.
And welcome to the Azerbaijan 2022 F1 qualifying, and it's just me and Dad today. Joshua's doing Le Mans. He has to abandon us. Right, which is a shame really, because it leaves us to having to deal with all this and remembering which buttons to press, which honestly is going to be interesting to find out. Will we do okay? Hopefully, because I've done something similar before, and remember last time we had to commentate together in here, or in this part of the commentary box. That was the last W Series race, I think.
Yeah.
Typical. Before, he was all talking.
Yeah, but you told me to shut up.
Yes, because I was about to go and talking.
So
I needed to open.
welcome to this makeshift studio that we use occasionally. We used to use this all the time for doing the pre-shows and post-shows, didn't
Yeah,
we?
so then
With
we
the
moved
other
outside
way though,
and then we
was that
didn't do
way,
it.
but now we're facing everything here. Yeah,
Which
Joshua's doing Le Mans. He's
Yeah, he gets loads of food
panicking
next
like
to him.
mad because of the
Not
fact
panicking. It's
that
more.
I've nicked all his food. I'm not eating it.
I'll nick it for us,
You'll nick it for us.
especially those paprika,
Your paprika chips.
crisp, Pringles.
Oh, depends if anyone in America's listening. It's chips.
Yeah, well, we're not American.
No, I know. Anybody in
Right.
Australia listening? Do you know? Beth rang us last night asking if, not rang us, texted us last night, emailed asking if Datsun Boy could come, but unfortunately he's in Switzerland, isn't he?
He is in Switzerland at the moment, and right now we're just getting a real big close-up on Lewis's car. And I like what they've done to the Mercedes logo on Lewis's, because it's
It's
all
a
like,
Go Faster logo. They got it. They went down to Alfred's, got some stickers, and just put them on the side, just to Go Faster logo.
yeah, it's
It's
like,
not going to work.
it's like a metallic type of thing. Do you know when you look at something on metal and it's got like this type of rainbow effect? It's got that on it. I think it really suits it.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's-
we used to. Danny used to have a car,
Oh, they're making their way onto
a
the
Ford Capri that
track,
was
lining up.
different colours. The direction you was looking at it, especially if it was sunny. It was
I
lovely.
remember that. Right, so
they're lining up, aren't they?
They're lining up in the pit lane, ready to go out. Looks like McLaren's definitely eager to
You're
go
not
out.
going to be another one who says that Dad shouldn't interrupt, are you?
Yes.
Face the camera.
If you
You're
wanna-
not facing the camera.
It doesn't matter whether I'm facing the camera completely.
Why? Because this is a radio show as well as a YouTube show.
Because if I want
There's
to
a lot
talk
of
to
support.
someone,
There's a lot of support
talk
for
to them.
Sergio Perez, right? And I saw him in practice 3 this morning,
especially
and
after
he was
last race.
fastest in practice 3.
Especially after last race.
Yeah,
I
and
wouldn't be
and
surprised.
Christian has dealt a big blow to Mr. Verstappen by turning around and saying whoever's in front is the one we give priority to,
Which
not
is
just
how it should
not.
be.
Yeah, I think so.
Because,
It was always the same with Nico and Lewis.
do you know, I hate it when the teams give priority to the one who's higher up in the championship. I think if someone is
It is a
ahead,
team
they should be
sport,
glad
though.
that at least one of their team members are ahead.
It is
and
it is a
prioritise.
team sport. I've never liked the fact that drivers have to yield to their in team orders, because I
Yeah,
don't
it's
I don't
very,
think
like,
it's right.
It downgrades what could be an amazing
This
race.
is supposed to be a race of the fastest 20 drivers in the world.
Yeah, and sometimes
that's
it's only a race
not-
between 10 people.
Yeah. And in Mick Schumacher's case, a race against time.
A race against not having
Well,
to go out.
the things that's been said about Mick this week
Speaking of, is that him?
are unjust. He's learning his trade. Magnussen has been driving Formula One and
For
IndyCar
years.
and whatever for years and years. He's got a lot of experience. You can't expect the lad to be brilliant. He's not Lando.
Speaking of, the green light from race control has flown, and qualifying 1 has got to a start.
I hope they're going to go faster than this, don't you?
They're
I mean-
making their way out of the pit lane. Give
Yeah,
them time.
I know. But I saw a lad this morning come out of that pit lane like mad. I think he's forgot to put his pit limiter on. That was in Formula 2.
The first car to make his way out onto the track appears to be one of the McLarens, and I think it might be Lando Norris, who has, and a little bit of a slow traffic jam. Hold on. Yeah. Hamilton saying, Hamilton saying that was going to be a lot of traffic and trying to keep on to
If it's
stay with the
it's
plan.
not likely to, but if it starts to rain, can you actually let us know? Because I've got to ring your Auntie Gritska, because she lives in Baku, and with your uncle must have a cuppa, and what happened is right. It's Michael Bentine. He was a character in Michael Bentine, and I used to use, he's brilliant, go on. That's the smallest part of the racetrack,
Yeah, it's the one
Naomi
I like the most.
was really, really concerned about that.
Everyone should be. The Ferraris haven't made their way out onto the track
And
so
she was
far.
on a bike.
They're still in the pit lanes. And it's,
Well, I'll bear to your knowledge on that, because I can't actually see that timing screen. It's too small. I'm used to a massive timing screen.
Well, I'm used to this. I'm used to every timing screen. Right, so, the first
Lewis
time
Hamilton?
My brake pedal is really soft, says Lewis. That should
Lewis is complaining
be a
about.
problem.
Lewis is complaining about everything at the moment. Because
he has a lot of problems, obviously.
He's 30 odd years old, and he's been shaken to pieces by a Mercedes that's not worth its salt. What do you think the design is wrong? I think it's the air intakes, and that dominates where everything is in the car. And I think Mercedes went a different way to everybody else, and I think they got it wrong. I know everybody is porpoising, but
I think
not
it's
like
definitely a downgrade from what they had before. Maybe they can't get a proper grip on how they used to
I
be
think
in
it's
their
a
style.
downgrade to what they brought to the first test. I think they should go back to that car.
Oh, we're just seeing Lando Norris. No one's actually made a time yet, which is concerning, though. Lando Norris has just done his first sector time, and
because they've been on an outlap, haven't they?
That seemed to be.
You don't have outlaps in W Series, do you?
Oh,
yes, you do.
I just saw the time. I finally found it. Norris's was looked like a 36.9 second sector one, which is quite good from McLaren, though Alonso definitely beating with that. We did a 37 second.
We're not going to have an hour of you beefing up Alonso, are you?
No.
Good, because Ocon's doing well in a sister car.
And
I must explain to everybody that if my voice is funny today, it's because I've basically got like a heavy cold early flu. We can call it COVID or something, anything you want, I don't care.
Right,
but
so
I'm being forced to do this by Joshua.
No, you're not. The first lap times are in. Lando. Oh, there's a yellow on the track for some reason. Wonder where
we
that
have no driver tracker,
now.
so we do. How the heck do we see that driver tracker?
I see it easily.
Well, tell us who it is then. Somebody's gone down one of these escape roads, haven't they?
I do not know who it is.
That's because you can't see it, because it's too small.
It's not too small to me, because I'm the one who mainly needs to see it.
Who won anyway? The Party Bouquet or the Gallas?
No one's won yet. And it's, right, so the timings are in. And it's, right now, the fastest time is Ocon with a 1:44. Oh, and it's just been beaten by Perez with a 1:43. Oh, and again by Verstappen with a 1:42.938. And
I do feel Verstappen's having to up his game. Yeah, this morning in practice 3, he had to really take it that he was 4th instead of 1st, because Checo was so good.
Yeah, Checo was quite good, and it's Sainz has gone way up into 3rd. Good for him. He did a 1:43.897. Zhou's made his way up the field into 8th, and Albon's finally got out of that elimination zone. Currently in the elimination zone is Stroll, Latifi, Schumacher, Russell, and Bottas. Let's hope Russell keeps his score up, being
both
at least
Mercedes.
qualifying too.
both Mercedes, even this morning in practice 3, both Mercedes back ends were very loose and they were sliding quite a lot. And that means that the porpoising has an effect on the way they're doing the corners. And
Who was saying
basically,
now? Russell radio. Verstappen is driving in an erratic manner. Well, that's not unusual.
But basically, that means that because they're porpoising as they approach the corner and then they go into the corner and the back end sliding a little bit, that they get on the accelerator a little bit later, fraction, a tenth of a second later.
Maybe that's what's causing.
And that's why they're eighth of the second down on everything.
Maybe that's the reason for the. Maybe that's the reason for the brake issues that Lewis is having. And Russell's about to make his time. Hopefully, he'll make his way out of the elimination zone.
Do you mean because they can't get the speed up? They're not getting enough heat in the brakes?
Yeah, I think that's why the brake pedal might be too soft for Lewis.
Because even when you're driving your own car, it transfers the motion of the wheels, heats up all the structures around it, including the suspension and the brakes, and so the hotter your car is and the more you've used it, the better the brakes. I mean, how many times have people gone out on a cold, wet morning? The brakes aren't quite as good as they are normally, and that's the reason why. And it's the same with a Formula 1 car, because motion is being transmitted kinetically to the wheels.
There's a yellow on a track in sector 1, just gone green again, and I wonder what that was about.
In the F2
on
race,
the escape road. I think it might have been one of the Ferraris.
In the F2 race this morning, there was quite a bit of overtaking, and quite a lot of them got the corners wrong and went down these escape roads. That's always been a problem in Baku, and they concentrate on getting through that small gap. But
Gasly is 6 tenths down on Verstappen's time. There's 10 minutes to go, and Lando Norris has just gone up into 6th, and Alonso's just gone up into 6th and kicked him out of that bit.
So who's in danger? Just Albon, Stroll,
okay,
Latifi, Mick Schumacher.
The drivers at risk.
And the one that's surprising me, because he's not got out yet, has he? Oh no, Bottas has, but he's only done an out lap.
Well, he probably had some problems with his car, maybe. And the driver at risk right now is Kevin Magnussen. And then in the elimination zone, it is Albon, Latifi, Stroll, Schumacher, and Bottas, which...
Bottas got stuck in one of those runoffs this morning for about 3 or 4 minutes. Because he was going... How you get it into reverse is you pull up one of the pedals behind your steering wheel, and then you press the button to get it into to mode it into reverse.
And it makes it really difficult
and
for
it
them
makes
to
it
actually
really
get
difficult. And if you, because these guys are speedy, they try and do it too fast. They think, oh, we've got to get back on the track,
and then it just makes them dig themselves into a hole even deeper.
Yes, it does. Yeah,
it's like a beached whale.
We've got 8.5 minutes left of this session. Verstappen and Perez are leading it. The 2 Ferraris have been split in half by Russell, but not for long, because Sainz goes up to 2nd.
Sainz does. Oh, and Zhou's just made his way up the order into 5th. Good for him. I think
Zhou had a very good practice.
Must have really helped him.
Zhou had a very good practice yesterday, didn't he?
And Leclerc just went first, and pit lane incident involving cars at 47 Schumacher and 20 Magnussen. I think that said noted. I generally think that said noted because it was too short.
Are they on the same team?
Yes. Oh, making an appearance.
Well, they're on a quick thing over there, so I just wanted to say hello and dual stream, which is actually very possible, because I'm running there and in here, and that's Stroll going wide.
That's what happened. Stroll going wide. Not the first time we've seen that today. And taking my headset off.
We would like to apologise to listeners and viewers who thought they were going to get Joshua today. Unfortunately,
he appears.
You can't stop him because he's
everywhere.
Like the Flash.
Everywhere and nowhere.
He's panicking.
No, he's not. Oh, and there he is again, jumping outside the thing.
He's just used more exercise than he ever did during PE at school.
Well, no one really wants to do PE at school. Let's face it. Though, I was always brilliant at it. Especially dodgeball.
Yeah, well, that's because you like throwing things at people.
Yeah. Especially big balls. It's like, there were softballs though, thankfully.
Thankfully.
Yeah. We tried playing
How
with
many-
basketballs
There's
once.
still quite a few had to go to the sick room because of you.
No, though, actually, some people did get injured from, like, these people who were all sporty, just throwing it like they were trying to throw, like, I don't know, a discus at people. It's like, it was generally concerning because people used to
Whipping
get
your hand
bruised
as you
and
do it,
people
yeah.
never used to get, like reprimanded
Yeah.
ever for that. And everyone was always quite shocked by that. And
Verstappen just
angry.
goes fastest with a 1:42.782 or 2:22.
7:22.
Oh,
2:2.
he's taking up ballet.
Oh, and it looks like Perez was only
to
a
be honest,
hundredths slower, and pit lane incident involving cars at 47 Schumacher and 20 Magnussen will be investigated after the session. So that's something to watch out for. Let's hope nothing too bad comes from that. Gasly on his sector time now. He's done a green in sector 1, though a yellow in sector 2. Everyone seems to be getting caught up by sector 2.
Yeah. Well, that's because isn't that the city bit where you're going through the town rather than down by all the government offices, which is where the straight is and the pits and that.
And where that pit is.
I think if it's still where it always has been in recent years, I think it's the actual pit area and the stands there are built in front of the government buildings, aren't they? The Parliament buildings.
I think they are.
This is a really strange track.
Yeah, it is.
It's you often get people on the podium here that are not usually on the podium, and that's because it's so easy to make a mistake here.
It is, and
a certain person called Leclerc just said he was so stupid when he went round the corner and hit straight into the thing. Megan.
Replay of Max Verstappen just went by. I think it was issues with posting, and winds just picked up massively outside. I don't know what that's about. For 4 minutes and 44 seconds left of qualifying 1. People at risk right now is Magnussen.
Do you mean it was
and
windy
elimination
here or there?
zone here. And in the elimination zone, it is Albon, Bottas, Latifi, Stroll, and Schumacher. Surprising from Schumacher, though, that he's in the elimination zone, given his recent prowesses in practice and qualifying.
I was going to say because
shot up to 8th.
You know, Natalie and Naomi.
And
that's
it looks like
Stroll
has gone into a wall. I think
found
maybe he had a
reverse,
lock-up. That's in sector
dangerous.
2. Yeah, it's got in the way of what it looks like to be, I think, Russell, maybe?
He might have to go see the stewards
Green
for that
track
one.
now, and I think
Of
it
course,
was
he
a
can't
lock-up.
actually see round the corner because his mirrors aren't things. But,
Here's a replay of it. Did he lock up? Hold on, I think it's around this part. And yes, I think he did. He locked up on his front left, and it's Stroll radio.
I've always thought at that bit.
Hold on. Yeah, just saying how he locked up. And that can be proved to be a dangerous thing there. And 3 minutes to go on the session. Continue.
I've always thought that that you don't want spotters like you do in IndyCar because that's really an oval thing, isn't it? But I do feel that the engineer that speaks to him normally has got a driver tracker in front of him, and that in cases like that with Stroll, right, where he's found reverse and he's going to do it in reverse, he should be on the radio as well, talking to his engineer with a driver tracker, saying when he can actually do it safely.
Yeah. Oh, Vettel's just gone up
Just
into
an
5th.
just an idea, FIA. I mean, you start trying to stop people doing everything at the moment. So why don't
yellow
you try and
flag
stop
on the
people
track,
doing that?
sector 1.
Oh, someone's lost the front wing. That looks like
whose
Sil.
wing is that?
It's that.
Sector 1. Oh, and
that's
it's
the-
Stroll. Is it Stroll's?
It's Stroll again. Yeah.
Oh, Stroll's really causing loads of problems.
He's
red
actually
flag.
completely. Red flag
He
is not
has
surprising, is it?
Demolished that front wing. That's going to have to be completely replaced, and he's
10 to
completely
1.
demolished his front wheel.
10 to 1. he's just
Hit the wall again?
yeah, but 10-1, he's trying to catch up and get back on track of the things he's supposed to be doing.
And then he just crashes
and then
out.
he's taken the corner too fast. I think in a replay we'll find out that he took that corner too fast and just hit straight.
That's him a racing line.
You know, I saw people in practice do that. I saw people in F2 this morning. 2 of them or 3 of them did that this morning. And that's a 50 grand wing that's broken up. But
here's a replay of
it.
what he did, and he goes round it, and does he lock up again? Doesn't look
he did
like
fine
it
on turn
is.
1.
And then
Turn 2 too fast.
oh, he overestimates himself.
He's braking zone.
yeah,
He didn't
you're
slow down
correct.
enough. He's too fast.
He overshot
But it wasn't in turn 1. It was in turn 2, which yeah.
And it looks like he's completely broke off his front wing. And he's just dragged it all over the track, inside the racing line as well, causing other drivers to have to avoid it. So session stopped, though that is dangerous, that corner. I've always hated that corner. And see his teammate come up behind thinking,
Vettel going,
just like, oh, not again.
Are you okay?
But one good thing is, Stroll's managed to continue up further so that it's quite near, those open bits where you can just quickly drag out
it in. It's the stuff on the track that's going to cause the problem.
Yeah,
and why they're throwing the red
since
flag.
It's a red, it can just mean they can easily pop out onto the track, grab it, and then restart the session.
The Alfa Romeo this weekend is sporting a nice green colour.
It's unusual for them. I don't think green's a very lucky colour here in Baku now, though, because
he's got a lucky clover on the, or whatever you call it.
Let's hope it's lucky.
Is it shamrock?
Maybe Stroll should have had that. Though session
it's a bit Irish, isn't it? In Ireland, they have the lucky clover.
Session stopped at exactly 2.5 minutes left to go in the session. I can imagine what Joshua was going to think when he watches this back, just like, oh my god, I missed a red flag. Though it was. It's all right.
He'll have quite a few in Le Mans to keep him happy.
Oh no, Le Mans has never been red flagged. He'll have loads of yellows and safety cars. So Le Mans hasn't ever been red flagged because obviously it's a 24-hour race and they can just go slow.
Yeah, I know. Now
since
you
it's
say
a timed
it,
race.
That is true.
There's a lot of safety cars.
Even when the lad about 10 years ago spun in I think it was a Ferrari in the GTE class, and his door hit that tree and he was killed. Yeah. They didn't even stop the race then, did they?
Yeah, I don't think they'd stop the race for anything.
No, unlike there was a tragedy. It's been 5 tragedies. 5 people have died in Isle of Man TT race this week, which is absolutely
I don't really like
stupid.
the Isle of Man TT because it's no safety.
Isle of Man is a separate entity. It's got its own government. They decide whether it's okay to do it. I think it's. I think you've got to now turn it. You've got to put the safety procedures in. They put straw bales. It's such a shame because it's
stop it. If a barrier
in
here
the test.
Stop cars.
The reason people flock to it and love to ride on it is because it's an absolute one of the hardest tests of being a biker there is.
Here's another
you're putting
replay
yourself on the limit
of
every time.
Lance Stroll, obviously, he just goes round that corner, nearly overshots it at that corner, and then he just brakes way too late, and he tried his best to slow it down there, though he completely overshot and ran straight into the
Looking
barrier.
at his tyres, do you think he overshot because he's taken some of the skin off? Just it's a bit like a 50p piece. Those
I
front
think
tyres.
that he had no grip because if you see on the back wheel, I think it's messed up from when he hit the wall there and locking up, and it's just completely drained the tyres because
another thing is we've got no chat room
getting out of
on this today.
Actually, I have it up on my phone.
Have you? Anybody on the chat room? The session will resume at 22:04 our time, which is
right. I'll read through the
20:11 Eastern time.
I'll read through the chat quickly. Josh T says hello, you two. M says hello. Perez gonna be on pole. Josh He says, please note this is a limited coverage. I do not believe Megan can see the chat. I can now, Josh. I can now. Though,
Only because I
the little
gently
owl,
reminded her of
yes,
it.
because it was on my phone. The little owl says,
I
stroll
didn't
on the
know you
wall
had it on
again,
your phone,
R.I.P. Why did he keep going? I do not know. I do not want to know why Stroll kept going after that. He should have made his way to the pit lane.
Maybe it's because of the fact that he had the momentum, and that he's just took his right wheel off.
He
so
got overconfident with it.
He's lost his hydraulics. That also could have dropped some hydraulic oil on the corner
Could
there.
have. That could have been a factor. Maybe his wheels
and
went
that
over
would
it.
bring out the fantastic machine that they've got.
That
They've got
sweeper thing.
it's like a sweeper, and it comes across like this. It sprays it and brushes it, and in a motion across like that.
Do you know, I
really is a brilliant. There was all the drivers this morning when it happened in F2.
Can you
all the
imagine what would
drivers
it be
from
like if
Formula
they
One
had
were
that?
going, "Why is that? That's amazing."
Can you imagine what it'd be like if we didn't have that this year, especially because everyone's been crashing and leaving oil everywhere?
I can imagine Sebastian, because he likes those sort of things, would probably buy one for his driveway, a mini one.
He probably would, knowing him.
He's got Sebastian's way of relaxing is to put his hat on, put his glasses on, his protection glasses on, put his headphones in, get on his little mower thing, sit on mower, and drive around his little estate, cutting all his grass himself. And he's into all sorts of things
Can
like
you
that.
imagine what it'd be
He got into trouble this week for having a rainbow bike. Can you believe that?
There's
A
nothing wrong with that.
rainbow-coloured bike. He's always had a bike. I'll tell you, because we're filling here. Let me just tell you before she stops hitting me, right?
Tapping.
Right? Do you remember when they were in? Is it Beijing, in China? And he went out.
Dunno.
He went out on his bike to have a look round the city. And when he got back, people said, "You why did you go out there?" He says, "I do it every track. I go out and have a look." And he says, "I like a tourist." He says, "People don't know who I am." And that's
Well,
Sebastian.
people kind of do.
Sebastian, there's no airs and graces on Sebastian, is there?
No, there isn't.
You're tapping me arm, so speak.
Right, so first of all, there is 1 minute left until the session will resume, and I wonder what people ask Seb. Just like, what do you do for a living? Drive. Okay, what do you do to relax? I drive a lawnmower. It's like, so, do you do anything but drive?
Oh, there was a
Bike.
case. Who was it recently? Was it Seb who recently said that someone asked him what he did for a living? I think you're right there. I think, and I think he gave a completely different answer to racing driver.
What? Just like, painter. I can honestly imagine Seb as a painter, let's be honest. Session has gone green now.
He also likes motorbikes.
Hamilton. Oh, we missed it.
He's got one of these like 100 or 50cc motorbikes, one of these small motorbikes, in pieces, in boxes. And when he's really, really cheesed off, he will go in his workshop at home and he will get the boxes out and he will start doing a bit more of renovating this bike. Right? It's not a big 1000cc thing.
You watch.
Right? He has one of
Seb's
those
wife
anyway.
is just going to be like, why is that bike not done yet? It has been 5 years, Sebastian.
It's actually 7 now.
7 years.
Yeah, he's had that bike 7 years.
She's probably just like, when am I going to get that bike not in pieces?
She doesn't, I don't think, often go in there.
Just goes into the thing, just trips over the bike. Just like,
It's his like shed-like thing. You know, men have sheds.
a lot of
Joshua
people
has
have
one.
sheds.
Joshua has one, and luckily for us, he keeps in it most of the time.
That's a garage.
Well, it's a
Well,
shed,
combox.
isn't it? It's got his
No,
combox has got a
the
shed
shed-
on the end.
But that's not connected.
Yeah, but we can always put him in there.
No.
I mean, Beth says
My
about the
table's
fact.
in there.
Beth often says that one of
Oh,
her favourite things.
Session has
Resumed with 2
restarted,
minutes. No.
and it's everyone making
2
their way
minutes to go
out
in this
onto
session.
the track. And it's
Norris Radio.
overtake cars. So obviously they're going for fast a lap for some reason, which I wouldn't really suggest.
Well, I think they're trying to do is all get round before the clock timer goes out. So
Yeah, they
on
only
an
have-
out lap, so that they can actually do a proper lap.
Yeah, because they only have the timings for 1, maybe 2 more laps, and they're just going to catch that second lap at the end. Though, don't you just hate it when it's like 2 minutes to go in a session and then it gets red flagged?
Amanda,
Oh,
can I have a little bit of water, please?
missed that.
What did you miss?
Ricardo.
Doing what?
Speaking!
Well, this is your job.
Yes, I couldn't hear it.
Joshua's paying you good money to do this.
Joshua doesn't pay me any money.
Doesn't
Mr.
he?
Blades.
He does me. As if. Cost me money.
1 minute to go
Have
in
you seen the
the
size of my electric bill?
1 minute to go
It's
in
all his
the
fault.
session now, and it's everyone's trying to make their way to having the fastest lap, which honestly, the top 5 have not decided to come out. Schumacher telling him to push like hell, and honestly, he needs it because they just said he's on the edge. No, you're not on the edge, Nick. You're completely last right now. So you need to. You don't just not on the edge. You're all the way down at the bottom. You need to get there.
Mick has got to realise that he's got to actually pull his finger out and get to grips with this car, and so has Ricardo. They're both capable of much better than they're actually doing. In fact,
Yeah.
Mick has shown that in previous races this season.
They have.
He's got to stop
And it's-
listening to the critics.
Checker flag
It's
is.
their job. It's their job to fill little bits in newspapers and magazines, right? Don't read them. Forget it.
Checkered flag is now out on the track, and whatever. Who'll be the one to cross the line first, though, I wonder. And it's. Why is that gone yellow on there? There must be a glitch with it. Don't know.
What's gone yellow and red? Tell me.
No, yellow there. It's just.
There is no yellow. I think it's.
Yeah,
I think it's
it's just when
just
it's
saying
set
because
to.
the timer's run out.
Because it's going to reset. So, let's see who'll cross the line at first. I think the first one to cross the line will be Hamilton, maybe. So, let's just see. Going down near the line. He's in sector 3 now. He's in sector 3 now. Did a very good sector 2 there. Better than his sector 1, which is unusual from what we've seen today. Though, Sonoda is faster than Hamilton. They've done 2 sector times that are green. And, there is a yellow. There is yellow sector 2 on the track.
Are we
Who's
lagging?
this due to? 40 seconds back. Yeah, thank you. I've been trying to tell him. But I can't at the time. Who is the yellow for? Russell gone into 6th position, though overtaken by Sonoda going to 6th. Told you Sonoda was doing good. Who's this sector 2 though? Gasly goes into 5th, pushing Vettel out. Should have gone out again. Though
Sonoda's actually been taught
on board
by
with
Albon,
Bottas.
even though they're in different teams now.
Bottas cannot seem to properly make it. He just makes it outside of the elimination zone, though. Can he hold it? I wonder, because he's still got.
So Magnussen, Albon.
Yeah, he can. It appears like he can. Green flag now. Have no idea who that yellow flag was. Maybe we'll get a replay.
So both
during
Williams,
the break.
both Williams, both Hasses, and Stroll,
Alonso
who
it
crashed
was.
out, are out.
There was a red flag.
It was Fernando Alonso went up the escape room.
Ah.
I came in for my glasses.
Always forgetting his glasses. How have you been able to see your notes?
What?
How have you been able to see your notes?
What notes?
Your Le Mans notes.
I took them into the garage. Why?
Yeah, but without your glasses.
Oh, it's been difficult.
You could have just asked me to bring them in.
And I'm having a little drink of water.
And
And then I'll have another little drink of water.
right, so I'll read out those who are in and those who are out on
No
the
surprises, really, is there, mate?
qualifying one. Yeah, not really. Right, so fastest was Verstappen, followed by Perez. Third is Leclerc. Fourth, Sainz. Fifth, Gasly. Sixth, Vettel. Tsunoda. Seventh. Eighth, Russell. Ninth, Zhou. 10th, Ocon. 11th, Hamilton. 12th, Alonso. 13th is Norris. 14th is Ricciardo. 15th, just scraping his way into qualifying 2, is Bottas. Out of qualifying 1 is Magnussen, surprisingly. Then Albon, Latifi, Stroll, who crashed out, and Schumacher, who was not able to climb his way into any position higher than a person who was out.
It is unusual for Magnussen not to be higher than this, but yesterday the Haas's were like the Mercedes were not having any grip on the rears.
It appears that theme is staying today then. I wonder what's wrong with Haas and Mercedes. They can't seem to find their grip. Williams too, to be honest, because they are doing appallingly today, it appears. And it's very unusual nowadays for Albon, at least, to be 17th. You at least find him making his way up into qualifying 2.
Of course, there is also the single lap speed, and then the race speed. And some cars are more suited to the race. The Mercedes at the moment is more suited to the race than the actual qualifying.
Which is worrying, because they need qualifying mainly, so they can make their way up
I think
they've
swapped with Red Bull. Red Bull had this problem a couple of years ago, and now it's just reversed.
It has reversed. Can't get my words right. Though I find it quite sad that we haven't had as good racing from Williams, especially as we did last year.
Yeah, we were hoping that Williams, with their new direction and their new input of funds, would increase their position on the grid and close up that back end of the grid. To be honest, they did in the hotter climates. But when we've come to Europe, Williams have fallen off a lot, haven't they, really?
They have. I think that maybe they'll get back on track, maybe a bit later in the year, though it's very worrying. We see a replay here from Alexander Albon, who has to avoid, it looks like, Alonso in stateroom. Road. Right, so
Alex.
That was Albon saying that. I think it was Alonso,
Alex,
maybe, that was driving
Alex
slowly.
is so cool that that is him angry. He didn't sound...
At least he doesn't swear like everyone else. Who's that going into the escape
You leave Max out of this.
It wasn't Max.
Max swears a lot.
So does Yuki. I can't tell... that actually is Alpine. I think that is Alonso. And Albon is criticising him for driving slowly. You can just overtake him, Alexander. You can just overtake him.
Yeah, but this is Alonso.
Simple.
Alonso knows exactly where to position his car to prevent that. I mean, how many laps was Lewis behind him at the last race?
Yeah, though it's not a race, and there's no reason at all for Alonso to just go slowly in front of him.
That's why Alex is angry, but Alonso will turn around and say, "I was just doing my own lap."
They can just overtake. I don't see what the issue is. Right, so...
Well, if you put the car too much in the centre of the corners, there's no way that they're going to get enough room on the when they accelerate to go past them, is there?
Right, so...
It's called blocking.
I know what blocking is.
Good. You had some blocks when you were little.
I did. I love them. Right, so
you weren't supposed to stand on them. It was your own fault.
Well, I tried. Drivers are making their way out of the track for qualifying 2, which has just started.
Did we ever find your skateboard?
No, I know it was Day-Day's. Though I used it more than he did, and I cannot find it. Right, so making the way out on the track. Perez is the first out this time, And it seems like Perez is trying to go for a slower lap, though it seems Max really needs to warm up those tyres. Why is there a battle going on between, it looks like, Gasly and it's... Oh, God. Why are they battling each other to see who'll be first? It's not a race.
No, but it is a race in a way. That it's they're in qualifying 2, and if they want to go in qualifying 3, they have to be faster than the other ones.
Yeah, though.
They don't want to be one of the last ones. You've finally got it.
It's only the warm-up lap.
You are the most intelligent child I have.
Aha.
You should know this.
Yes, though I don't see why they're going so competitive against each other, since it's only their outlap.
Yeah.
Outlaps are meant to be slow. They should
but if you want
stop
position,
going like that. I know they want position.
You've just spent 2 minutes talking about why one can't overtake the other, and then you're saying why don't they go try and overtake each other on an outlap?
Yeah, outlaps aren't meant.
You're as annoying as Joshua.
Outlaps aren't meant to be used to try and overtake each other. They're meant to try and warm up the tyres.
I know, but a lot of the drivers nowadays don't go to the old, unwritten rules. They
well, unless they want to end up like Stroll and end up in a wall and have lockups, then they need to warm up those tyres.
If you know you're behind a slower car, you've got to get past him to do the fast lap.
Well, of course you've got to. Then that's when you're on a fast lap. For none of these drivers are on a fast lap.
Look at that Red Bull front wing flexing.
That is flexing way too much and
As he
very
brakes,
noticeable.
it comes up a lot, doesn't it?
That's repeat of last year, it seems. Every single time they go to Europe, it just flexes so much.
I love the fact that when you get these on boards, the other teams are going, that's flexing too much, like we just did. And then they go, report that.
Yeah, it's like a game. It's like school, actually. Yeah. It's like school. They report each other. Just like, oh, so-and-so's doing this, so-and-so's doing that. Just drive.
Christian,
try not to crash.
The rear flap of the DRS was flapping like mad, bending like mad on Thursday or Friday. Friday, wasn't it? It was Friday. And in practice 1 on Friday. And when he was interviewed about it, the interviewer turned around, I think it was Natalie, I think it was Nats, said, other teams will probably want to report that. And he went, well, they already have.
Not surprising.
And the session had only just finished, and they'd already been told that other teams had reported them over it.
They're working quick, don't they, in trying to report it?
This was the problem at the back end of last season, is that these guys developed too much of a relationship with the bosses who were marshalling this, and were allowed to say too much to them. I think it's better this year that they can't just talk to the stewards.
Yeah, it is better that they can't talk directly to the stewards this year, because it gives a lot more room for racing.
I think they have to go through a go-between, don't they, now?
They do. Yeah. And fastest lap time so far is Verstappen with a 1:42.227, but that could change very soon since the Ferraris are about to make their appearance.
I think Lewis and Russell, Georgie boy, will struggle to get through to Q3, actually.
I think they will struggle.
I don't think they've got enough friction downwards on the back end to actually...
Oh, then again, Russell's just gone into 4th and Hamilton into 8th.
It's not friction, stability on the back end to actually... as we said, it affects when you can actually accelerate.
It does affect quite a lot. And Sainz goes up into fastest with a 1:42.088.
He had a good practice 3 this morning. And
he did. Leclerc goes second with a 1:42.182. 10 minutes to go of the session.
This is what happened this morning, is that Sainz and Leclerc would go top, and then Perez and Verstappen would try and beat it. And it was yo-yoing up and down this morning, who was first, second, third and fourth. It ended up with first and third Ferrari, second and fourth.
We have an
No, sorry,
onboard.
first and third Red Bull, and second and fourth Ferrari.
We have an onboard with Charles Leclerc, and it's replaying of, I think, maybe a slight incident he had. Did he go off the track? He did slightly, nearly lost it there on the curbs. See there, just
back end, but he slid it back. I
that
love that helmet cam. It's a great. Have you seen it on the motorbikes? The one on the shoulder.
Yeah.
In the MotoGP, that is amazing. It gives you just an idea of how far they lean.
It really does. And Gasly almost touches the wall like Stroll did earlier. That was close call from there. Though I think they should, it'd be difficult to do this. So extend the track. Though it'd be difficult to do this since it is a street circuit, and it'd have to change a lot of things.
Knock a few government buildings down, and
though I think it should just be extended like a foot, because it's so close to the actual barriers. Though I know we can't change that, and we just have to deal with that. Though it's very difficult to actually deal with that, and I think it will cause a few problems during the race, especially when overtaken.
I didn't see on the pit wall there the girl strategist. She's not. She actually was a major reason that Red Bull did so well at the last race.
She was a major reason.
Her calls were amazing. She got them, every single one of them, right. Which, she's getting more and more into this and really, really good at. Because it's guessing, isn't it? Guessing from having
it's making predictions.
It's predicting from all the data that she's got in front of her.
Basically, what I do. And Gasly is doing very slow laps, and we're on board with Vettel right now, and going a bit too fast around that section. I would suggest for him to slow down, since his teammate didn't. See? He's done exactly what Stroll did, and he's bumped into the barrier. He did not slow down at all, and it's probably why he locked up.
Well, that's just like last time. That you'll be able to get that back to the pits, won't he?
What's up?
Front ring on.
Wait a minute. So that's both of the Aston Martins doing the exact same thing.
I don't think they've got I don't think it's as serious as Mercedes and Haas. I don't think they've got the rear grip.
They just keep losing it, and they're going way too fast on the exit of corners, and please do not do a repeat of Stroll. And he doesn't.
The aerodynamics of these cars is a bit like sailing a boat.
Replay.
And if you get it to, the wind yesterday was amazing here.
It was. And that was Vettel locking up. Though I can't blame his car for locking up, actually, because he was going way too fast around that exit curb, and Blake pedal is a bit normal, and honestly we've had that from quite a couple of drivers today, including Lewis, and obviously it happened to Stroll too, though not a good show for the Aston Martins today. They're the ones actually causing most of the yellows, or in one case red.
Yeah, and they could have easily, if it wasn't for the fact that he's such a calm lad, getting that into reverse, then we'd had another red just then.
We would have. At least he didn't push it too far on the exit.
So about the same time as we were in Q1, what's latest on the chat?
Josh T saying, beware, Josh is on his way. That's what's latest in the chat. Though,
yeah, we just saw him. He was hovering over you, looking at the screen.
Oh, there's another yellow out on the track. It's gone green again now. That must have been some going down the escape road.
And there's some Brazilian supporters of Red Bull. I think they were at Monaco.
And it was Perez. It was Perez, coincidentally, going down the escape road nearly and touching the wall.
Just slightly grazed that wall, didn't he?
Not enough to bring a yellow out, though.
No, but that's enough to actually just put a little kink in those tyres and put the balance out of the tyres. Not enough to actually cause any suspension damage.
Luckily. There are 4 minutes and it's 38 seconds to go of qualifying 2, and I'll read you out who is in the elimination zone. So right now the driver at risk is Lando Norris, and it's in the elimination zone it is Hamilton, Ocon, Ricciardo, Zhou and Bottas. Bottas has barely made an appearance in these qualifying sessions today. Could there be something wrong with his car, I wonder?
He didn't have too good a time of it this morning. Kept going down the escape road.
Do you think he's saving his tyres?
I think he did that twice. He can't get the balance, and I think a lot of them are having this grip problem because there's a lot of long straights here, which pulls the car down to the floor, and then as soon as you start to brake,
it just locks up.
It just locks up.
Which is exactly what we saw happen to Stroll and Vettel. And
this is where their driving talent comes into it, because of the fact that they have to consistently drive around this track at the same time.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to actually get the grip on this track.
It is one of the hardest tracks to get to grips with, and that's why so many different people have appeared on the podium here.
I remember when I play this on the F1 game, it's very difficult, and I can't imagine how difficult it is for them to actually brake and not hit those walls. It is mainly because I struggle with braking sometimes because I prefer to go fast. Turn incident involving cars 44 Hamilton noted, driving unnecessarily slowly. Could he have been on a slow lap? Just pointing that out there.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about Alonso, did they?
No, they didn't. Hamilton radio. Don't go slow. Turn incident involving cars 44 Hamilton will be investigated after the session, driving unnecessarily slowly. Though, could he have been on a slow lap? I mean, it's not unheard of. And it's right, so
I think
replay.
That's being picky.
Replay of the clear. I think doing the same. Oh, touching the wall slightly. Lucky he managed to catch himself, because that could have been a complete turnaround.
How do you feel about the fact that the way he's being treated at the moment, Lewis could actually just, in the end, he's got other interests. He's doing this film with Brad Pitt. And he just could get fed up with Formula One and walk away like Rossi did to MotoGP.
I hope he doesn't.
I hope
he gets
he
one
doesn't,
more championship out of it.
He has had both him and Max have had been picked on, I think, too unnecessarily by the stewards. There's not enough, consistency.
Oh, yellow.
Other drivers get away with what they don't, like Alonso has done today. Alonso was driving as slowly.
There's a yellow in Sector 1 right now, and it appears to be sticking for a while. So that maybe someone went along the escape road, or maybe they touched the side and flipped around.
It's definitely not a crash into the barriers, because we'd have seen it by now.
Yeah, it's
it
gone
would be
green.
an escape road trying to go reverse.
Would have gone deep into the escape road. Yellow again, this time in Sector 2.
You see, when we first came to this track in Baku, the tyres were a lot smaller, the cars were less chunkier, and you could literally just throw them around. But
green again.
Very few people...
And a yellow. And a green.
Very few people have been able to swing on a donut.
Yeah, it is
they can't do it at this like they used to. They used to see
the fear of hitting something.
Yeah, hitting the wall. But when they get into these little cul-de-sacs, they used to be able to just donut themselves round and come straight out again. But very few. This particular corner here that we've just seen, that if you overshoot, you can.
Oh, here's a replay
get round
of
that
Yuki.
quite quickly. Ooh,
it was Yuki Tsunoda.
Yuki smashing the side of his wheels against that
going
wall
down
there.
the escape road, and that was the first one, and then it's Lando Norris for the second yellow, also going down the escape road.
I don't know about Lando. Yeah, Lando. Good lad. He's done a 3/4 donut. Yeah.
And its checkered flag is out, and it's in the elimination zone. It appears to be Norris, Ocon, Ricciardo, Zhou, and Bottas, and Yuki Tsunoda is on the driver at risk.
Lewis and George have done really well actually to get those Mercedes. All of a sudden, they seem to have found some grip.
Well, I think it's mainly because everyone else keeps spinning that they're just like, okay, we need to find grip, otherwise.
In practice
we'll be
3 this morning.
Right. What happened in practice 2 this morning? 3.
In practice 3 this morning, they were going out and doing one lap, effectively scrubbing the tyres for the race.
Why are they doing
scrubbing the shine off?
Are they doing the Leclerc method? Because that's what Leclerc used to do.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
And then he abandoned that after, I think it was a wet race. I think it was after Belgium he might have spent that. Not sure.
Sorry about this.
Though I think everyone...
I did give Joshua a signal, but he just tore it up.
Right, I think that's just about everyone who has crossed the line. The first 4 did not go out again.
He said, you've spelled influenza wrong. He said, you couldn't even spell flu, let alone influenza.
FLU. Right, so read through those who are making it through to qualifying 3 and those who have been eliminated. Right, so fastest this session was Perez with a 141.955, making it into the 41s. Second was Leclerc, and then third was Sainz. Fourth was Verstappen. Fifth was Gasly. Sixth, making it through, was Hamilton.
Very good, third Lewis.
Seventh was Vettel, eighth was Russell, ninth was Alonso, and just scraping it through was Yuki Tsunoda in 10th. And then out in qualifying 2 are Norris, Ricciardo, Ocon, Zhou, and Bottas. And for those who don't already know, in Q1, Magnussen, Albon, Latifi, Stroll, and Schumacher were out.
Well, let's hope the incidents that Vettel and Tsunoda had in that session doesn't affect them in the final session.
I really hope that it doesn't, though at least I'll know if they make it into the top 10.
Yeah.
Right, so what did you make of that second session? Because we had a lot more yellows.
I think, surprisingly enough, they were getting to grips with the track a lot more. It's a bit more rubbered in now. And
they said it crashed.
And I think my voice is getting worse.
Well, it will do. Though it won't be for long.
Why?
Because
say something.
After
anything
something nice. Right, because after this is only a qualifying 3. Why don't you drink a bit more of your water and relax your voice for a sec? Well, I go through what's happened in qualifying 1 and 2 for those who are just joining. And they got me doing it now. Having a bunged up nose. I had one ever since I was ill. Having a bunged up nose and not being able to talk. Right, so in qualifying 1, obviously Magnussen, Albon, Latifi, Stroll and Schumacher were out. And there was a yellow from Stroll and a red flag caused by him crashing into one of the barriers. In qualifying 2, Norris, Ricciardo, Ocon, Zhou and Bottas were all out, and there was a number of yellows, one caused by Vettel, one caused by Norris, and one caused by Yuki Tsunoda. We have a replay here of, it looks like, I think, Lando going slow behind one of the AlphaTauris, it looks like, which could have been Valtteri Bottas, I think. And it doesn't look like Lando's too happy about that happening.
There's a red flag in British touring cars.
Have you forgot about the battle screen, Megan?
What battle screen?
Yes, I have. Oh, that's wrong. Hold on. Which one's a battle screen?
5.
Oh, yeah. Here is the battle screen, which I generally forgot about.
Whenever you two need to get up.
What?
Yeah, that's what it's for. Anyway, I've got to go.
I forgot which number it was.
I just came to tell you about the red flag and touring cars, but that's okay. Going well in the F1 at the moment.
Good.
Yes, right. Thank you. And also, Megan, you're getting a lot of compliments on the Le Mans stream, saying that you're really good.
Ah.
So that's a
Thank you to everyone
confidence
there.
booster for you. Anyway, I'm off back to Le Mans.
She's always been
Don't
better
leave it
than
on
you.
that stream though. That's the
I
battle
won't.
screens.
I'd rather it be back on this. No, not that screen. See, that's what I'm bad at. You said you were going to leave a note.
So there must be a number
Sorry.
for the driver tracker as well.
Yeah, driver tracker's on number 4, emergency screens on number 5.
I really should remember which one is because there's a little note here.
Yeah, I didn't need to put
Because we could actually use that as to put the driver tracker up so we can actually see it occasionally.
I may be a good commentator, though I'm a terrible person when it comes to technology.
Just press that button there, and you've got a driver tracker alongside the timings. Are you forgetting how to use these apps?
Yes.
There you go.
I'm getting too distracted by talking.
Yeah, can't you go back to the Le Mans or something?
No. I like him here.
I don't.
There you go.
It's
Okay.
I'm just worried that he got too close to
Oh,
the
that'll
chair
survive.
with the cake thing.
Q3 will start at 7:13 local time. So right now, it's supposed to be starting now, getting close up on the Ferraris. And it's...
So wonder the Queen didn't want that back last week.
Really?
Yeah, because she must have had a lot of people at the parties, mustn't she?
That's a lot of... What are they doing to Leclerc's car? It seems like they're doing it the same
Race
to
controllers telling
else's
us that
car.
if 30 minutes past
Cooling down,
4,
I think.
our time, 30 minutes past midday. No, 13 minutes past 11 o'clock Eastern Standard. What time is it now?
Right now, here, it is 4:13. Over there in Baku, it is 7:13.
7:13, and in the United States, and Eastern Centre, 5 hours behind us, aren't they?
It'll be 11:13.
11:13. So it was 10:10 instead of 11 before that. I should have said. All the people in America going,
Wrong time.
wrong time.
That's the Atlantic. I find it weird the Atlantic
it's a 40
has a
second
time.
delay.
'cause it's
It's gone an hour
hilarious.
and 40 seconds.
Qualifying 3 has just started. First one out on the track is Fernando Alonso. And let's hope he doesn't go slow this time, apparently, according to
Me.
Albon and Dad. Right, I see a little boy wearing a Max Verstappen hat. Oh. Let's hope he doesn't crash, because that will be traumatic. So Ferraris are about to make their way out
Wasn't it-
onto the
Was it Baku?
track.
Was it Baku that the little boy was crying?
There was a little boy crying because Max crashed. I
not
forgot.
Max. It was
No.
the other lad.
No, there was. Do you remember when Max crashed in
It was
Azerbaijan?
Raikkonen. Do you remember when Raikkonen crashed and the little boy would
Well,
stop?
that's a lot of.
Yeah,
Crashed a lot.
because Raikkonen got him tickets for the next day in the paddock, didn't he? And
Aw,
everything. It was really nice.
sweet.
Him and his mum and dad.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, well, that's because Kimmy was really sweet. He
I
just.
know you should see what he does with his kids.
Yeah,
knocked
it's-
the time
he's a
through.
really good dad. Dad, he does a lot of stuff, doesn't he?
His little girl was being like a pit mechanic when his son was driving.
He's another one who can
She stopped him.
who can drive a lawnmower well.
He can.
Did that on Sky One and won.
Kimmy is hilarious. I wish he was still in this.
Uh-huh.
Though 10 minutes to go now in qualifying 3, and I'm not going to say the C word of CALM or for the Q word as we have in this, because we all know those are motorsport curses as well as me when it comes to either
We
Scott
haven't
McLaughlin or
even-
Brendan Hartley.
We haven't even told Megan that Brendan is actually driving in Le Mans this week.
Yeah, I've been in there. He looked out, getting on pole.
Yeah, congratulations to Brendan and his wife.
Thank
They've
goodness.
just recently had a little baby, haven't they?
Yeah, I think she might be the reverse of that curse.
Yeah,
Whenever she's
she's a
there.
good thing for Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Brendan, you know, he had a lot of bad luck, all caused by Megan.
I mentioned his name when he got once and he got fired. Genuine. 10 hours later, he was fired.
She also mentioned, whenever she mentioned his name, he used to crash.
Yeah. I walked into the back of the commentary box once and and Josh was like, Brendan Hartley crashes. And he just looks to me and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to back out now.
And it's been a bad week in Australia because the Neighbours has finished filming.
Aww. Neighbours sending.
I mean, what happens to Cassie the sheep now and Bounce the dog, or are they long gone?
I have no idea. It just got really dark in here for some reason. I think the sun's gone
We used
behind a cloud.
we used to go to where they filmed Heartbeat and in North Yorkshire, and we used to go for walks down by the river and things like that when the kids were little. And there used to be the dog, except we knew what a lot of people didn't know because we actually saw them together. There was 2 dogs. I wonder if they had 2 dogs and 2 sheep.
Probably.
Because on Neighbours, because they had 2 dogs on Heartbeat, because if they wanted a dog to be barking, it was Boot, and if they wanted someone to sit in the truck into Greengrass's truck and just act nicely, Rosie would be put in there because she was quite docile and easy man, whereas it was as if she'd it's as if Boot had got Duracell batteries in him. He was
Duracell.
Lovely dogs, both of them.
The first lap
Lurchers,
times are in, and Gasly is fastest so far with a 1:42.845, followed by Russell, and then Hamilton, surprisingly. Let's hope that Mercedes can keep up their...
Oh, we're doing the Formula 1, aren't we?
Yeah, Sainz goes fastest with a 1:41.814 now. It's a whole entire second faster than Gasly, and
both
Leclerc
Ferraris
goes second.
Going first and second. This is the early part of the run, and it's always beneficial at this track it's one of those tracks where you want to look at the bounce in there, because it's quite a bouncy track, this. It's always beneficial to do a fast lap.
And then an
just
even faster
case,
lap.
No, just in case there's a red flag that disrupts. Generally, this Q3 is go out, do a lap to try and keep your hand in from the things.
Oh.
Then wait 2 or 3 minutes to the end and go on a faster lap.
That was Leclerc
Not always possible
just
here.
sliding when going round a corner. That was close to binning it in the wall. We would not want another red.
As Rachel or it was Natalie will tell you, he can do that in a Ferrari round Monaco.
Wouldn't be surprising.
Handbrake turns. My best car for turning was my Mondeo.
Huh.
You could be halfway past the junction and the customer would go down there, and you'd still get to turn around into the road.
Right, I'm going to go to the battle screen, which is...
What does the battle screen actually...
This.
Yeah, but what is it?
The battle screen contains the driver tracker, which is not working at the moment. Yet again.
This one is.
Qualifying. Yeah, our one is a replay
According
of Perez
to
right now.
Vettel's the only one on the track.
Going slow, round for corner. Yeah, it's not working properly.
Yeah, because I'm sure Vettel. I'm
watching. Oh no, it is working. It's just you got to really squint.
I'm watching. Well, I'm watching on the bigger one here, and it's not.
Look, there is a sliding again. This time from Perez. Though I'll take you through where the top 10 are. Currently, Sainz is fastest with a 1:41.814. Leclerc is second. Third is Perez. Fourth, Verstappen. Fifth, Gasly. Sixth, Russell. Seventh, Vettel. And eighth is Hamilton. Ninth is Alonso. And 10th, Tsunoda. Oh.
Alonso trying to catch up to Vettel, see if he can get a toe.
Joshua has appeared in the box.
Top of the hour report. So Josh is also watching in. Josh, let us know when the Eurosport are back on, and I'll come back.
The 2 Ferraris are actually out.
And it's raining outside.
Who have they got in between them? because one of them has stopped.
The two Ferraris have Gasly in between them.
Yeah, Tsunoda's
could cause a problem.
transponder doesn't seem to be working properly.
No, none of them are really.
And here's
here's
Hamilton and Russell, as they're following each other as well. Gasly's managed to get in between the two Ferraris,
which is something that Hamilton's been trying to do for years. The car bottoming at dangerous levels. Does it mean proportion?
Tsunoda is now.
Learn the language, Hamilton.
Tsunoda's thing is actually really weird because he's just on driver tracker. He's just gone from and he's just jumped the two Mercedes.
I feel like the transponders are just messing.
They are messing up, aren't they?
Right, so 3 minutes 50 to go on qualifying 3. Please do not have another red flag 2.5 minutes from the end, because honestly, I think that if that happened, that one of the Ferraris will pop a vein in their head, because they'll just be like,
Max is going out.
Means that we might not be able to keep our position. So, and Josh has been called back by Josh
Plays?
T.
Josh Plays?
Yeah, Josh Plays, I'm saying the username. So people in the chat know who I'm talking about. So, Verstappen radio. Oh, there's an issue with the car.
With Checo's car.
Immediately puts it back down on the ground. Oh, that was a little lock-up there on the front left. Did you see that? We should probably.
They're out of position, aren't they? They were going to go out together and get a tow, and they can't.
Yeah, because one of them messed up.
Oh, I love this
also,
helmet cam from Charlie.
Have you seen the weather change? Not only outside our window, though also in Baku. It seems to have gone very, very dark. I mean, I get it is bleeding into nighttime, but still, wasn't that dark 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, Natalie and Naomi they were mentioning yesterday in the F1 show how quickly it gets dark around here.
It does. It gets really dark really quickly, and I hope we don't have another
Worse, it should be the lightest time of the year, but it goes dusk quite quickly here.
Exactly. 2 minutes to go on qualifying 3, and I shall give an update of where everyone is, including the battle cam that I have, and I think we have frozen.
A frozen battle cam?
Yeah.
Well, let's look at the old thing of Sainz and Leclerc are actually on track racing each other on the screen.
Yeah, everything's frozen. Hold on, I'm just going to move back to the driver.
Sainz is 0.4 behind at that first thing. Let's have a look at Leclerc.
Yeah, we've definitely frozen, though don't know if you can still hear us. Though there's 1 minute.
Leclerc is minus a tenth. So, you know, he's a tenth of a second up on this. Leclerc's looking favourite to take this pole.
We're back. Though there is no timing.
Well, there's on the screen. Going 50 seconds to go. And Leclerc is gone purple in sector 1.
And we've lost everything, it seems. I don't know what's happened to the timings.
Use this one.
Yeah, though it's all about what's on here. Something has gone wrong, it seems, with that. Though we'll just have to deal with us.
Leclerc is purple in sector 2 as well. This is Leclerc's to lose.
Right.
Charles Leclerc looks like he's going to get the Baku pole.
Right, so Charles Leclerc makes his way to the line now, and what does he get? He goes pole with a 1:41.359. Let's hope no one can take it away from him. Yuki Tsunoda goes into 7th.
Verstappen's not able to improve.
Yuki Tsunoda goes into 7th. Russell goes into 5th, and Verstappen goes. He can only do second, and he does a 1:41.641, 3/10
Sainz
slower.
or Checo actually be able to do green in sector 1 and 2 for Perez, so I don't think he's going to improve.
Thank you to Josh Plays, who's summoned Joshua to help. Though it looks... I think Perez is on his way to maybe... Can he take pole?
No, but I think he can get second.
And he crosses the line, and he goes second with a 1:41.641, which means that Charles Leclerc is on pole for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and I wonder if that means he'll be able to finally break his cycle of having
Sainz to come up to the line next.
Without a race win. Maybe he can actually finally make a race win out of this.
Sainz finished.
Very excited cheers from Leclerc there. Sainz came in 4th and pitted. Right,
that's why I've not seen him cross the line.
Right, so I will go through the positionings. Right, so Leclerc is in pole with a 1:41.359, followed by second with Perez, who had a 1:41.641. Right now we're seeing a replay of Sainz having a little wobble, which could have caused him not to have second position. Shame about that, but at least he got 4th. Third is Verstappen, followed by Sainz in 4th. 5th is Russell. Even in the qualifyings, it seems that he prefers to get in, at least in the top 5. Right, and 6th is Gasly. 7th, Hamilton. 8th, Tsunoda. 9th, Vettel. And Alonso is 10th.
Great first and second sector there from Leclerc to take this pole, don't you think? I mean, he was purple in both sectors.
Very good for Leclerc to get that.
Thank you.
And this will be his 11th pole in Formula 1, and let's hope he can make it to the win. And thank you for watching the
second stream.
For the qualifying session. Shame Joshua couldn't really fully be with us, though he made his best for debuts. So go to the Le Mans, I would suggest, and watch there. The Le Mans stream we're doing, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.
I think you've done well, Meg.
Thank you.
Goodbye.